A teacher tried to steal my standardized test to give it to one of her sports students. This happened a long time ago, so there's likely no way to prove anything at this point. I need to give a little backstory before I get into the incident. I've always been exceptionally good at multiple choice tests. I wasn't a great student. I usually ended up with a B and C average. But because I read a lot and I'm a good puzzle solver, I could usually ace my tests and get away with doing no homework and still end up with a passing or even a decent grade. One exception to this was my history teacher. She was more clever than I, and her multiple choice tests often had 2 or even 3 plausible answers out of the 4. 5 choices. Hers was the only class I failed, just barely. But I was in luck. At the time, it was possible to redo a single failing grade by taking a standardized test from the government. I took this test without studying and got a B+. So that was substituted for my actual grade. High school tests were fairly easy in general, but standardized tests for me were a complete breeze. Well, I had this particular teacher for homeroom. Let's call her Miss Karen Van Bejak. Miss Karen for short. She was the coach of the cheerleader squad. This becomes important later. One day on the way to homeroom class, I sprained my ankle quite badly. I hobbled with one leg and the rails up the stairs to homeroom. I told Miss Karen that I needed a pass to the nurse because I had just badly sprained my ankle. Our school required a pass signed by a teacher to visit the nurse. I imagine things have probably changed by now. Let me know in the comments. I had experience with sprained ankles already. They were the bane of my existence, and I knew this was bad. She looked at me and said, "I don't give nurse passes or bathroom passes." This wasn't even a real class where I would miss a lecture. It was homeroom. I looked at her with my jaw open, but given how I knew she was a complete tool already, I didn't argue. Instead, I limped over to my desk and sat while the pain grew and my anger grew higher. When the bell rang, I had to climb yet another flight of stairs to my Latin teacher, who gave me a nurse pass immediately. The nurse took one look at my pants, didn't even ask me to pull up my jeans because she could see that my ankle was the size of a grapefruit. She gave me a crutch and sent me home immediately. Go watch part 2 now.